Why does everyone love you so much? Why have they fallen under your spell? You've got a weird looking nose, almost no wind protection, your wheels are tiny, you don't even have a hydraulic clutch. Oh my goodness! So this is why you were made. This is why everyone loves you. Woo! You beautiful machine. Welcome back to Long Way Home, everyone. Today we are taking a look at BMW's latest adventure bike. Yes, they do consider this an adventure bike. It is in the same category as all the GS's. And the second you say adventure to me, it automatically means off-road. So let's figure out who this bike was actually built for and who its perfect rider is. We're going to cover city riding, highway riding, and of course some twisties. Stick around. Lots of traffic today on the roads. Of course, everyone is finally allowed to go out. There's a man with no sleeves. Because why not? Alright, let's talk a little bit about how the Baby XR is like in city traffic. There are three areas which I consider paramount for city riding. One is how agile, how easy the bike is to convince to change direction when doing a quick overtake, for example. Secondly, how easy it is to do lane splitting, since I don't want to sit behind cars at traffic lights. And thirdly, creature comforts, things that help for riding around the city. It is surprisingly flickable, this bike. I wasn't expecting it to be so agile at very low speeds. Easily fit between these cars. Even in dynamic mode, it's very well behaved in the city. I don't fear any jerkiness of any type when I'm changing gears, when I'm accelerating. It's not trying to be a sports bike to impress me. It's just well behaved. Now, it's important to note that this is not just the dressed up F850 GS, nor is it a mini S1000 XR. BMW created a new category of bike, and the end result is tons and tons of fun, even in the city. The exhaust note is lovely to hear every time you rev it up, and the great torque curve means instant acceleration. This was the first thing I noticed when I got on the bike, and the thrill of accelerating didn't wear off even after riding 500 kilometers in one day. Look at this monkey. I guess that answers the question about the hooter. It's a little tiny baby one. No heat coming up from anywhere at traffic lights. It's good. My legs aren't getting toasted. Purring along in fourth at 2,500 RPM. Plenty of power if I need to overtake. No need to do such peasant things like changing gears. That's not required. There's so much torque here. The only reason I would really shift down in slow traffic is to hear that sound. I have no idea how well the camera picks it up, but that is one amazing, fun, lovely to hear sound. As far as useful electronics go for city riding, keyless ride has to be number one, at least for me. You stop a lot more often while riding in the city, so not having to mess around with a key just makes everything a lot more enjoyable. The noise that it makes is so satisfying. It is Slow down.
I'm 1.8 meters tall and a lot of kilograms over normal. Riding position was comfortable enough for short to medium rides, considering this is a sporty bike. For longer rides, I would need for the handlebars to be closer to me so I can stand more up straight, and for the seat to be higher so my legs can also be straighter.
See, this is where the pavement stops. We can't go any further than that. That's off-road territory. That's for other bikes. Oh, don't look at me with those big beautiful eyes of yours.
Okay. Take it slow. Slow and easy. You're doing it.
The Baby XR comes with USD front forks which are not adjustable. The rear monoshock is adjustable for preload and rebound, and you can adjust that electronically if you spec it up. While riding on this sort of light off-road, I was pleasantly surprised with the way the suspension was set up, since I was expecting to feel the bumps a lot more than I did. While braking, the forks do dive quite a lot, but I'm coming from a big boxer with telelever suspension. Any sort of dive while braking seems odd to me. This is maybe where a bit of fork adjustment would have helped.
Even with no specific enduro riding mode and the rear suspension set to road, it seems to be coping very well. I'm not feeling extremely bumpy. This is quite a bumpy road, but I have no problem riding on this. Now, wind protection at highway speeds is, well, it's pretty much like Justin Bieber's talent, all in his head. I'm getting pummeled from all sides, basically from the middle of my chest all the way up, my shoulders. If you're gonna do a lot of highway riding, then you really need that bigger windshield.
Since BMW introduced this LCD instrument panel on a lot of its bikes a couple of years ago, it has become my favorite instrument panel on any bike. Everything is arranged in a very Germany way. At a single glance, I know exactly the speed I'm going, and the gear, everything is where it should be. It is also Bluetooth connected, so you can pair it up with your phone and separately with your headset if you have one. It will act like a main hub for your devices. Pair that together with the multi-wheel on the left handlebar, and changing settings while riding without taking your hands off the handlebars is a big plus in my books.
Now, apart from the wind issue, the bike is very stable. I'm not getting a lot of vibration through the handlebars or through the foot pegs. My butt isn't taking a pounding, no, not like that.
Cruise control, while having its obvious advantages on the highway, I actually find more useful on back roads, where if I need to take my hand off the throttle for a couple of seconds, to scratch an itch for example, I just enable the cruise control with one flick of my left thumb, scratch away, and the bike keeps going. Useful gadgets to help you scratch easier.
Let's get off the highway because the wind is basically raping us. That's basically what's happening now.
Backroads seem to be the exact place the 900 XR was designed for.
Oh my goodness! Who needs a hydraulic clutch when you've got such a big smile on your face? I've already forgotten about the fact that the front forks aren't adjustable, because why would I want to touch anything that the Germans did that makes it so beautiful on these types of roads?
The chassis, suspension and engine seem to be set up in just the right way so you can flick the bike easily regardless of speed and still be in complete control while the bike remains composed.
You can't get enough of this. This type of fun, unfortunately, cannot be had on a GS. I know.
The gearbox is not the best, nor is it the worst, and if you opt in for the optional quick shifter at lower revs, it will feel a little clunky, but is indispensable in my opinion if you want to ride sporty. The dual 4-piston Brembo calipers on the front ensure that you have plenty of stopping power when you need it.
A little stupid toy gadget here is showing us that we have braked at 6 meters per second squared deceleration. Absolutely useless info.
The fact that the F900 engine shares virtually no parts with the F850 can definitely be felt in the way it delivers its torque. The sound it makes is undeniably the best sound on a BMW twin engine, and that probably has something to do with its 270-degree configuration.
Suspension is working overtime here because it's very bumpy, but not a lot is coming through my feet or my butt. I was expecting a much more sportier setup that punishes you every time you go off the track, and you get these sort of roads which looks like they were paved by babies which had no idea what they were doing. Oh, this is beautiful.
For a base price of $11,700 you get a lot of premium kit on this bike. Everything from that great instrument cluster which comes along with an app so you can spend more time playing on your phone, BMW premium feeling switchgear, steel braided lines, Brembo brakes. Of course, you can spec it up with all the bells and whistles, but the bottom line is that for under $12,000 you get a premium bike which, when set up right, can be comfortable for all day riding.
You beautiful machine.
In my opinion, the F900 XR is the perfect bike for twisties, whether you like to ride relaxed or like a maniac. I would throw it under the category of sports touring and not adventure sport, because even though it's perfectly capable of going on light off-road, there are a lot better bikes suited for that. But as we've shown, if the opportunity presents itself, it's not going to let you down. Believe it or not, it's also a very capable 2-up touring bike. Even with the passenger and all the panniers and top box on, you should still fall way short of its official carrying capacity. If you set it up properly with the correct windshield and the correct seat for your height, you could be very comfortable riding all day long. The Germans have done a very good job of setting up this engine for pure unadulterated fun. And paired together with the electronics, which are set up to save your butt when you inevitably push it too hard, and that big beautiful TFT with a lot of its creature comforts and toys, it's really difficult to not recommend this bike, even when it's raining.
Now, any bike I review, I also like to take out at night and see what the headlights are like. The specific XR I was riding did not come with auxiliary lights, but it did have BMW's new cornering lights. On low beam, the light spread is great and I can see almost everything clearly. With the high beam on, everything in front of me is lit even in the distance. The cornering lights, however, while a great idea, I really didn't see much of a practical difference. Yes, you can see they work, but they are not bright enough to actually make a difference, so I wouldn't shell out any extra money on those.
So, I guess my only question right now is, would I buy one with my own money? And unfortunately, no. It is a lot of fun. It is designed to be a fun explosion, if we can call it that. But in the end, I find it to be a little too small for me. Now, I can go out and have fun with it for an hour or so. It will be brilliant. But After that, I find it too cramped, too small. I just need it to be a little bit higher than it is right now. So if you're a normal size human being, it should be just fine for you. Go and test ride one. But for us bigger guys, unfortunately, we're gonna get a little bit cramped.
No, Dave, I can't get you another pony. You didn't feed the last one. It's lying in a ditch somewhere. Oh, hello. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the F900 XR, stuff that I haven't gone over, leave us a comment in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed this episode, give it a big thumbs up, and if you think you've learned something new, consider subscribing or becoming one of our patrons to help us make more of these shows. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next one.